Welcome to our Yom Yerushalayim event. זה שליחים, do it for you, follow me. ברוכים הבאים ליום ירושלים, בואו אחריי. בבקשה.
Welcome you all, Shalom Aleichem, to our annual celebration of Yom Yerushalayim. This is the third year that we've been having this wonderful celebration with the community of Toronto in this wonderful place, BAYT, with their help, and by the shlichim of the Jewish Agency, Torah Mitzion, Bnei Akiva. We would like to invite Mr. Sam Silverberg to thank, on our behalf, all those who have helped us celebrate this.
I would like to thank the sponsors who made this possible and kept this show on a deficit for another year, including Chaim and Susie Belzowski, David and Leah Blumenfeld, Robin Carnell Berliner, Simach and Elisa Green, Reagan Esther Gutman, Ellie and Esther Katz, Alan and Marcia Kruger, Elazar and Hannah Morel, myself and my wife, Alan and Rosalie Steinfeld, Ella and Heather Tannen, and Larry and Susie Zeitman. Thank you all the people in the school, the people who work hard to put this together in the school, the managers, Ron and Leslie and Eugene, and the people in the office, Leslie in the office, and Sarah and other people who really put a lot of effort into making this thing an organized event. And with that, I'll say thank you.
Thanks very much. I would like to also thank Ma'adat Rabbi Kurokim for being here with us and supporting us, and I would like to invite him to say a few words of thanks and celebration.
Yom Yerushalayim Sameach, even though yesterday was Yom Yerushalayim, but today we celebrate Yom Yerushalayim. And I would like to share with you a few thoughts that I feel are extremely relevant for us to understand what has been going on in Yerushalayim, certainly for the last 45 years. And actually, if we look at the origins of the city of Yerushalayim, we'll be able to get a better understanding of what is happening today in Yerushalayim and be able to get a better sense of what we need to do for the future. What is the history of the city of Jerusalem, the city of Yerushalayim? Chazal tell us that originally the city of Yerushalayim was known as the city of Shalem, the city of Salem. This was its name before Jews lived in the city. We know that the people who ruled over the city of Yerushalayim had a certain appellation for their ruler. Whatever the name of the ruler was, he always had the word tzedek at the end of his name. So for example, we know that in the book of Bereshit, there was a ruler over the city of Salem whose name was Malki. This was another name for Noah's son Shem. We know that in the times of Yehoshua, there was another ruler of Yerushalayim. His name was Adoni Tzedek. And so therefore the term Tzedek, just like the word Pharaoh for Egyptian rulers, the word Tzedek was used for rulers over the city of Yerushalayim. Why is that? Well, the Forshim explained, because whereas many of the city-states and provinces that existed in the Middle East at this time were not committed to justice, were not committed to making sure that other people were taken care of, were not committed to justice, such as the city of Sodom and the city of Amorah. The city of Salem, the city of Shalem, was completely committed. That was its credo. Those were the rules that the city possessed. It had a certain sort of declaration of principles, and every ruler who ruled over the city had to commit to those principles in order to become the ruler of the city. And as a testament that you were abiding by the rules of what it meant to govern the city of Salem, you became the new ruler, but you had the word Tzedek appended to your name. Now let's go and talk about, this is the non-Jewish significance of the city of Salem. Now let's talk about the origins of the Jewish significance of the city. We know that when Abraham Avinu brought his son Yitzchak on the Akedah, it was in a place called Har HaMoriah, which was in the middle or somewhere adjacent to this city of Salem. And after Abraham was finished with his extremely life-altering experience at the Akedah, he named the place Hashem Yireh, God will see. Because his experience was that there was a unique bond between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that wherever I go and wherever I am, Hashem is looking over me in a special way. Explains the Medrash in Bereshis Rabbah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had a dilemma when it came to declaring the capital city of Eretz Yisrael and giving it its proper name. Hashem said, my dilemma is that if I name the city after Avraham Avinu's experience, then my beloved Tzaddik Shem, who although is not part of the Jewish people, but nevertheless played a significant role in the history of this city, he'll come with ta'anot, he'll come with complaints. Because after all, it was known as the city of Shalem. And if I name the city as Shalem, then Avraham Avinu will come with ta'anot, he'll come with complaints. Because after all, there was a unique experience that happened to Avraham there. And therefore, says the Medrash, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, we will take the name of Hashem Yireh and the name of Shalem, and we will put them together to have the name Yerushalayim, which is a contraction of the words Hashem Yireh for Avraham Avinu's experience, and the word Shalem, which is the experience of Shem Malkitzedek. If you look and you think about it further, there's a very important message that Chazal are sending to us about what this city of Yerushalayim is all about. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Jewish people a very important mandate, and it has a duality of purpose. On the one hand, we are the Am HaNivchar, we are the chosen people. We have experiences that are unique to Klal Yisrael, and this is represented by the unique vision and the isolated vision, the solitary vision that Avraham Avinu has on Har HaMoriah. But at the same time, the Jewish people have a second mandate, and that is to be an Or LaGoyim. There is a universalistic aspect of what it means to be a Jew, which means to contribute to the fabric of godliness throughout the world. So on the one hand, we have experiences and rituals and practices that are unique to the Jewish people, that are for us and for us alone. And there is also this aspect of universality that we have to share whatever we can of godliness to make sure that the light of Hashem diffuses throughout the entire world. And therefore, what Yerushalayim represents, the contraction of these two names, is that it represents the particularism of the Akedah, the unique experience to the Jewish people of the binding of Yitzchak, but it also represents the universal message of what it means to be an Ir Tzedek, to be a city of righteousness that is really for the entire world, which is what the city of Salem represents. And therefore, if we think about what has happened in Yerushalayim over the last 45 years, and even before then, Baruch Hashem, we've been able to hold on to the city of Yerushalayim as a unified city for the past 45 years. Since 1967, after the Six-Day War, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu miraculously gave us back the city after it had been divided. But there's a message here. When the Jewish people are fulfilling one mandate to the exclusion of another mandate, then there's something that is reflected in the city of Yerushalayim. When we are exclusively worried about our role as the Jewish people in a particularistic fashion, and we exclusively focus inwardly, and don't care about the rest of the world, then Yerushalayim is no longer Yerushalayim, but rather it is just Hashem Yireh. Hashem will look down upon the Jewish people, and He will be proud, and He will shet nachas. But He will not say that Yerushalayim is an Ir Shalem. It's not necessarily a complete city, a whole city. And that is why sometimes Yerushalayim is divided, or what is happening today is that there is an effort in the world community to re-divide Yerushalayim. But on the other hand, when the Jewish people do not focus on the unique covenant between God and Israel, and we only focus on the universal principles of mankind and of righteousness, and we ignore the unique covenant that Hashem made with us in the Torah and the Mitzvot, then Yerushalayim is no longer Yerushalayim, but it is only Shalem. It is only complete, but it loses its Jewish character. And therefore, the two efforts that we have to struggle with throughout history is, are they going to divide Yerushalayim, or are they going to make it into an international city which will be devoid of Jewish governance and Jewish independence? Those are the two struggles that Yerushalayim faces in every generation. And it is a calling to Klal Yisrael that in order for us to hold on to a united Yerushalayim, and also a Yerushalayim that is uniquely Jewish, we have to have both messages in hand. We have to be the people who are faithful to our unique covenant of Hashem Yireh, of the Akedah. We also have to be the people who are Shalem, in the sense that we are constantly devoted to tzedek and to being in Or Lagoyim. And so therefore, in this time which is extremely exciting for the Jewish people, but also at a time which is very precarious for the Jewish people, at a time when the world community either wants to split us up or make us into an international city, we say no. We resolve that we will be both the unique Klal Yisrael, the particularist Klal Yisrael, and we will also be the universal Klal Yisrael that provides a message to the entire world. And if we take those roles seriously, then Yerushalayim will be the united capital city of the Jewish people from today all the way into the road to Mashiach. May we be zocheh to see it. Amen. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of our shlichim who are doing such an amazing job, and to Samuel Silverberg, and to all of the people who were so instrumental in making this beautiful Yom Yerushalayim event. We should all be zocheh to celebrate Passover in Yerushalayim HaBenuyah in Meirav Yamin.
Yesterday, Kafchet Be'iyar was the day of Yom Yerushalayim, as celebrated in Israel and all around the world, which was basically the date of the fourth day of the Six-Day War, when Jerusalem was released from the Jordanian occupation in 1967. The Chief Rabbinical Council of Eretz Israel, Rabbanut Harashit Israel, decided a few months after the release of Jerusalem, to declare this day as a day of thanks, Hallel, Hodaya. And in Israel, since then until today, many shuls celebrate with Hallel and Pirkei Tehilim, some of the prayers of Yom Yerushalayim. And the state itself also declared Yom Yerushalayim as an official national day, and is celebrated since then and on as a wonderful experience of flag dances and celebrations in Yerushalayim and also elsewhere in Eretz Yisrael. I would like to invite Hillel Horovitz, Shliach Torah Mitzion, to say a few words on Yom Yerushalayim as the fulfillment of the vision of Nevi'im, of our prophets.
Good evening, everyone. Yom Yerushalayim Sameach. We say 3 times every day in our prayer, "V'techezena enenu b'shuvcha l'tzion berachamim." We pray Hashem that He will come back to Jerusalem and we will be able to see it, and He'll dwell in Bet HaMikdash. The Rambam in Ilchot Bet HaBchira, Perek Vav, Halakha Tet Vav, discusses the Kedusha of Jerusalem, and he has a very important statement that he says that even though Am Yisrael is in Galut, in exile, and we are no longer in Jerusalem, still we should know that Jerusalem and the place of the Mikdash are still Kadosh, the Kedusha is still there. And that Kedusha doesn't disappear even when we go away. When we read that, the question rises by itself, so what are we praying for? If Hashem is in Jerusalem all the time, and He's dwelling on Har Moriah and waiting for us to come back, so what are we praying for? Hashem is there, waiting for us, so what are we waiting for? Maybe to answer that, we'll use a very famous story that appears in the Gemara in Masechet Makot. In the end of Masechet Makot, Daf Kaf Daled, the Gemara tells us a very famous story about Rabbi Akiva and his friends. When they walk and they get to Har HaTzofim, they view Har HaBayit and they see a fox coming out of Bet Kodesh HaKodashim, and everyone starts crying besides Rabbi Akiva that starts laughing. The people ask the Rabbanim, ask Rabbi Akiva, what are you laughing about? And there's a good Jew, he always answers with a question of his own, and he says, what are you crying about? After they tell him that they see the fox coming out, and how can you not cry in such a situation, Rabbi Akiva has a very interesting answer. He tells him, now that I saw that the prophecy of Uriah, Tzion Sadeh Techaresh, that Bet HaMikdash will be destroyed, I saw it was fulfilled, I can now know that the prophecy of Zechariah, Od Yeshvu Zkenim Uzkenot Birchovot Yerushalayim, Umishantam Beyadam Mirov Yamim, I know that prophecy will be fulfilled too. When we look at Rabbi Akiva's answer, it is a very strange one, because if he wants to give some comfort to the Rabbanim, what should he say? He should say, don't worry, Bet HaMikdash should be built, the Mashiach will come, amazing thing will happen, everything, miracles will happen galore. That's what you have to tell the Chachamim. Older people will sit down in the streets, children will play outside. Is that the words of comfort that the Chachamim are looking for? The Rav Kook addresses this person, this great rabbi that we all follow. As we know, most of the Torah Sheba'al Peh that we have these days is from Rabbi Akiva. In his introduction to Shir HaShirim, he speaks about Rabbi Akiva, and he says Rabbi Akiva has a high spirit, Baal Nefesh Gvoha. Rabbi Akiva has the ability to see things that other people can't. When Rabbi Akiva is speaking to the Chachamim, he's telling them, when you see a fox coming out of Bet Kodesh HaKodashim, all you can see is destruction. But what I can see is the fulfillment of a prophecy. The same thing, he says, will happen many years later. When Zechariah tells people, you know, older people will sit outside in the streets and the kids will play outside, people won't look at that and say that's Geulah. But you standing here can see that that would be redemption. That would be Geulah. 145 years ago, in 1867, Mark Twain goes and tours around Israel. And he describes Jerusalem and he says, and here I'm not quoting, and he says, if you go outside of the walls of Jerusalem and you walk around them, you will go around the entire city in 1 hour. This is how small and poor that city is. When we sit here today, 145 years later, and we see the exact opposite. If you try and go around Jerusalem in 1 day, you won't manage. You look, you see the people playing outside, you see the older people sitting in the streets. This is a fulfillment of the prophecy. Rabbi Akiva is telling them already then, people won't be able to notice that that's the Geulah. When we arrived here in Canada, we go off the plane, there's a board saying that 65% of the people in the entire history of the world that went over the age of 65 live these days with us. The time of the Zkanim sitting Mirov Yamim, we have prosperity, people live to long days, Jerusalem is filled with people. This is exactly the redemption that we are speaking about. The key to understand that, if we go back to what we start with, is the bracha we say every day. When you just look, when you just see, we don't say v'tir'ena. We say v'techazena. You need to be a man of vision. You need to be like Rabbi Akiva. If you have the ability to see beyond the reality, then you can see the Geulah. We pray to Hashem not to come back to Yerushalayim, because we know He's there, but to give us the ability to see Hashem there and to be these people of vision. And if we manage to have that vision, so we need to say Hashem, next year all of us together can really sit Yerushalayim of Bniyah.
Good evening, everybody. Yom Yerushalayim Sameach. In the 1860s, the city, with an area of only 1 square kilometer, was already overcrowded. Therefore began the construction of the new city, the part of Jerusalem outside of the city walls. The first attempt at residential settlement outside the walls of Jerusalem was undertaken by Jews who built a small complex on the hills overlooking Zion Gate across the valley of Hinnom. This settlement, known as Mishkenot Sha'ananim, eventually flourished and set the precedent for other new communities to spring up the west and north of the old city. In time, as the communities grew and connected geographically, this became known as the new city. Okay, this is Yerushalayim of today. As you can see, it's surrounded with lots of neighborhoods. And here, you can see the old city surrounded by walls. In the old city, inside the walls, live together Muslims, Christians, and Jews. Every night, the gates were closed to make the residents feel much more safety. And also, if someone found himself outside the wall, especially at night, it was considered very extremely dangerous because of guns. As I told you, the overcrowding affected the living conditions. Therefore, getting outside the walls was necessary. This is again the old city, and you can see also the first neighborhoods outside the walls. Today I'll show you and I'll talk only about 5 of them. The first one, משכנות שאננים. Next, מחנה ישראל, נחלת שבעה. מאה שערים. And finally, אבן ישראל. Okay, first neighborhood, משכנות שאננים. After his 4th visit in Israel, Moshe Montefiore was bothered from the situation of the Jews inside the walls, and he was the first one to establish the first neighborhood outside the walls. The first neighborhood was built from 2 rows of apartments close together, and also Moshe Montefiore built a flower windmill as a parnassa for the residents, and a wall will surrounded the neighborhood with a gate that closed every night to make them feel much more safe. The second neighborhood outside the walls called מחנה ישראל, and it built by Rabbi David Shimon Haradbash, and he built that neighborhood for his community. That neighborhood was built with the apartments surrounded a courtyard, and they make themselves feel much more safety because the outside walls of the apartments created kind of wall with one gate, and they close it every night, and that makes them feel much more safe outside walls. And there is nothing to see today from they saw the first neighborhoods, and they saw that it can happen and it's possible to do it, so they tried it just like them. And since they knew that it's still dangerous living outside the walls, so they bought a piece of land right next to the main street, Fri Apr today. And it was a very, very small land. That's why they built their apartments not organized. So if you see today, the neighborhood, what left from that neighborhood, and lots of apartments left, it's not organized. Next one, yeah. The 5th neighborhood called מאה שערים. The neighborhood built at 1874 by a company, and for safety it was built like מחנה ישראל, when the apartments close together around the courtyard with 6 gates. During the years, the population in the neighborhood become much more, and a lot of other apartments were built inside the yard. That's just that a little bit changed the original neighborhood. Today, most of the residents in the neighborhood are Haredim, and in the neighborhood we can find a lot of yeshivot, בתי כנסת כוללים, and בשבתות וחגים the neighborhood closed for transportation. The process of getting out of the walls was just the beginning to a long process. As long as the population of Yerushalayim increased and felt much more safety, they built more and more neighborhoods outside the walls.
The first historical mention of Jerusalem is in the Bible, in the era of the patriarchs. King David declares Jerusalem as Israel's capital, known from that point on also as Zion. His son, King Solomon, builds the first temple. But the temple is destroyed by the Babylonians, and the Jews are exiled. Cyrus's declaration enables the Jews to return and rebuild the temple. Alexander the Great's conquests include Jerusalem. However, his successors desecrate the temple, which leads to the Maccabees' revolt against the Greeks' imposition of Hellenism. The Roman Empire seizes control, and King Herod renovates the temple. A large-scale revolt against a corrupt and vicious Roman reign fails. The Second Temple is destroyed, and the Jews are banned from Jerusalem. 60 years pass, and Bar Kokhba leads another revolt for the freedom of Jerusalem, but it fails. A large-scale revolt against a corrupt and vicious Roman reign fails. The Second Temple is destroyed, and the Jews are banned from Jerusalem. 60 years pass, and Bar Kokhba leads another revolt for the freedom of Jerusalem, but it fails.
Good evening. Street of my childhood, Rehavia. My parents made Aliyah to Eretz Israel at the beginning of the 50s. They left behind an opportunities, a family business. The first neighborhood they went to was in BAYT called Shikul Bali. But after a few years, they moved to a new neighborhood. For them it was new, it was Rehavia. The history of Rehavia. Rehavia was okay. At the year in 1921, there was a plot, a piece of land, a very rocky land, was purchased by Jews from the Greek Orthodox Church. The name of the place was Genzaria, that was the name. If you can see on the left side, you can see the map still in Hebrew, even I think in English. You can see the old name of Genzaria. On the right side, you can see the tents of what we call Duda Avodah, the battalion of work of people from the third Aliyah. These were the pioneers who built the neighborhood. Okay. Famous building that we all know, we've got, if you can see on the right side, you can see Echal Shlomo, the great synagogue with Knesset HaGadol. On the left side is Yeshua, and we've got also the Gymnasia Rehavia, which was the first Jewish, what we call the Yom Yerushalayim, the high school, very famous. A lot of people learned it in this place. It was totally secular. It works till these days. The streets, all the planning of the neighborhood was designed by a special way of architecture. Not only the building themselves, but also the streets. Most of the streets were made on purpose, very narrow, so there's not going to be a lot of traffic. There were only two main streets, even them in Canadian kind of, that weren't so wide, two main streets. It was made to be a neighborhood for people like, we call it Irganim, with a lot of green and a quiet neighborhood. The first families that came to the neighborhood, or the people who invested, were Sfaradi, very rich families, bought some lands. They made their first aguda of the neighborhood. Later on came a very big group of what we call the Yekes. And they joined also the neighborhood. Okay, so what influenced what names to give the streets? So the first, all the streets, basically they've got names of Jews or poets, rabbis from Spain. Not all of them from the golden age of the Jewish time in Spain, but we see some names like Rabbi Shmuel Nagid, Ben Maimon, which is Rambam, Ibn Ezra, Rabbi Yehuda Levi, Rambam, and there are more streets, I can't even count them. but something has changed. Oshinsky, the head of the JNF, took the name of Rabbi Yehuda Street and decided he was a very powerful man while he was living, and changed the name of the street of Rabbi Yehuda to Oshinsky. And not only that, we've got a very famous street. All the ones who are touring in Yerushalayim, we've got a lot of good restaurants there. Rehov Keren HaKayemet came instead of Rabbi Shmuel Nagid Street. And today, Rabbi Shmuel Nagid Street was moved. We have at Knesset Yeshurun, the one north. So that's also a change in the neighborhood. We've got a lot of, we see some photos of the street to see how narrow they are. That's the typical street, Al-Khalifi Street. And that was the Greek windmill. We all know the windmill that Rabbi Moshe Montefiore built, but there was another one which the Greek church built, even before the neighborhood was built. And we've got also archaeology. Inside the neighborhood, in Rehov Alfasi, we've got from the time of the second temple, we've got Kever Yeson, we've got the name. Just in the middle of the street, you see this kind of tomb. And famous people that we all know. We've got a lot of professors. We've got Professor David Flusser, Professor Hugo Bergman, Professor Rosh Shalom. Some of them were neighbors door to door. Teddy Kollek, we all know the mayor of Yerushalayim for many years. Golda Meir was there. Abba Ibn was living in my street. And the next one, Benjamin Netanyahu, I think we all know. We've got some writers, Chaim Potok. We've got Ben Wayne, and we've got Miriam Landstecker, she's the writer of Children's, and there are a lot more. And me. Okay, I was also born in the streets, I was living there, and then I would like to take some stories from my childhood, just before the 6 Days War, during the war and after. What you can see on the picture is the border, just near, if you know Mamila Street today, there's the big, like it's a small street, but you can see that the sign, danger, Shetach Oyev Lefanecha, is dangerous, there's an enemy territory, no passing. Now that was 500 meters from my between the Israelis and Jordanians. One thing I have to mention, at those days nobody mentioned Palestinians. For us, beyond the border, Jordanians. Never heard the word Palestinians at those days. And I can tell you one story that we had in our neighborhood. As kids, I was the little one. Some of the kids made like a balloon of hot air. Well, from paper, not from balloon, not from plastic. And we used to put it over a fire and to let it go into the skies. It was about a square meter big. And that caused a big incident. The UN was involved in it because it was so close to the border they thought the Jews are throwing missiles. So, and because of the wind, it took it to the other side of the border. Just before the war, when the war was coming, was only broke, the war started, I remember as kids used to feel the sun sights to protect and to put some tapes on the windows. That was before the war. And when it broke, the day that the war broke, we went to school. We were in classes. At 8 o'clock, the siren, something like this, the siren broke and we had to go into one of the classes. We didn't have any kind of what we call miklatim underneath the ground. And our parents or other parents took us. I was only in first grade. And between the bombing, they were shelling and shooting, we had to go home, all the kids. And then after a few days, we were underground, we were hiding. And then, as you can see, Yerushalayim was freed, and suddenly everything was changed. We had the first bar mitzvah. I'm not going to speak about this behind this slide. And we have everything that's changed. Suddenly, every holiday, every Simchat Torah, every Shavuot, Instead of going to shul, all the shuls used to gather and go to the old city. And my main experience was Shavuot. The first Shavuot, it was like, if it was people were speaking before about the vision of the prophets, you saw everybody was going. You were the amount of people. And there's a pasuk at Som Adam, it's like the herd, like sheep, like of people who came out to Jerusalem, we were going out Mount Zion, and we as kids used to run all over in the old city. We weren't frightened. The ones who were frightened were right. And I remember as a kid, we went up to the Temple Mount. I went into Kipat HaSela. We went to see Ever Hashkia. I didn't know it was forbidden. We went even underneath, it's like a cave underneath. We went inside, we went to the Al-Aqsa. We as kids, we were everywhere in the Jewish, in the Arab neighborhoods. We would go on the roofs because houses are connected. For us, it became like our playground. This bar mitzvah, and it's the first bar mitzvah, since there are a lot of bar mitzvahs in the Kotel, that's my brother. And I hope that we will be able to renew this kind of atmosphere, the enthusiasm, going every Simchat Torah, all the shuls, the Sifrei Torah, going to the Kotel, something that it's a bit missing today. And we hope that this enthusiasm, this happiness will come again. Sorry. Okay. The one there on the left is my father.
So, as the Ayat said, we are going to test you now, and we promise you a very nice reward. The game is called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but since it's Yom Yerushalayim, so we changed it, Who Wants to Be a Yerushalmi. So, the game goes like this. We are going to ask a question. The question is going to be written on the board. There are going to be 4 answers. One of them is correct. Since we want all of you to participate, we are going to make a vote. And we are going to click on the answer that most of you raised your hands for, sorry. So, so we are going to go downstairs.
How many gates are there in Mea Shearim? 6. Okay. Let's check. 6. Wow.
Okay, we're going up to the next question. Which famous man lived in Talpiot? We have Eliezer Ben Yehuda, Rav Kook, Menachem Begin, or Teddy Kollek. Take a minute to think. Okay, if you want to answer number one, Eliezer Ben Yehuda, please raise your hand. Okay. If you want to answer number two, Rav Kook. Okay. If you want to answer number three, Menachem Begin. Okay. Or Teddy Kollek. Okay. Click on Menachem Begin, please. Okay. No. Okay. Eliezer Ben Yehuda. Correct.
Next. Who said the sentence, חייב אדם להיכנס לירושלים הקדושה בצניעות? A man has to enter the Holy Jerusalem in modesty. First, Yitzhak Rabin entering the Kotel. Why are you laughing? Rabbi Goren entering Har BAYT. General Allenby entering Yaffa Gate. Or Napoleon entering Jerusalem. Okay, if you think it's number one, please raise your hand. It's Rabin. Rabbi Goren? General Allenby. And the last, Napoleon? So check, Napoleon? No, it's not Rabbi, nobody said. Rabbi Goren, check. And General Allenby.
Okay, what's the Hebrew name for Katamon? Ma'alot, Komeniyut, Gonenim, Hashomrim. Okay, so answer number one, Ma'alot. Okay, Komeniyut. Gonenim. Okay, Hashomrim. Okay, then it's obvious. You're good.
Okay. Which story is hiding behind the name of the street Kanfei Nesharim? Actually, it's in Givat Shaul. The main street in Givat Shaul. First, it was the suggestion of the mayor of the. It was a suggestion of the mayor for the street by Kanfei Nesharim. You have already 32,000, okay? You can see. Donation to destinators. Who gave Israel the menorah in the Knesset garden? The British Parliament, the American Parliament, the Canadian Parliament, or the French Parliament? Okay, who picked the British Parliament? The American Parliament? No. The Canadian Parliament? No. The French Parliament? Canadian not? French? No. British? Victoria did, right?
Okay, next question. What is the meaning of the name Mamila, where the shopping center is located today? Okay, from the word Mami, in Arabic from God, in Arabic for Mam, in Italian, mother of all. Okay, so let's check your answers. Who is for number one from the word Mami? Okay. In Arabic, from God. Okay. In Arabic, for mom. And the last one in Italian, mother of all. Okay, most of you think Italian, okay? So let's try all the options. Very good, everything is from Africa. Okay, so we have answer number 1, Shuli Natan. Answer number 2, Naomi Shemer. Answer number 3, Nurit Zah. Answer number 4, Ofra Khazar. Okay, so who is for number 1, Shuli Natan? Okay, number 2, Naomi Shemer. Number 3, Nurit Zah. No one? Ofra Khazar. Okay, so let's check. Some of you raised their hands for Naomi Shemer. Okay, so she only wrote the song, and not only, but okay, and that's correct. Actually, Naomi Shemer wrote the song, and she was looking for someone very special to sing it, and she found Shuli Natan with the voice of a bird, so she decided to take her. She heard her on the radio show, and she asked her daughter to write her name, and she said, we are going to call this lady, and she's going to sing this song.
Okay, last question, listen this, the last one. Where will we find the pasuk, אם אשכחך ירושלים, תשכח ימיני, תדבק לשנים מחיקים, לא אזכרך, אם לא אעלה את ירושלים, על הראש שמחתי. קהלת, ירמיה, תהילים או יחזקאל? טוב, רותם קהלת. ירמיה, תהילים, and יחזקאל. Okay, so let's check יחזקאל. תהילים.
Okay, and now, congratulations, you won. But since we are only speaking, we don't really have $1 million to give you, so at least we can pray together and hope that בשנה הבאה בירושלים הבריאה.
Thank you.
Maritzhak Abargel on the tech and putting everything together. Baron and Galia Dasko for helping organizing the evening, decorating, and so Sarah Eliyav, Nokla Grossman, Michal Horowitz, Ami Grossman and Hillel Horowitz for all the wonderful things that we had on the table that organized, again, everything from behind the scenes. And for all of you for coming again to celebrate with us Yom Yerushalayim, we would like to ask everyone